Give a warm welcome to Dan Lier.
Hi, it's Dan Lier, and welcome to Bulletproof Strategies for Overcoming Adversity. How to turn adversity into opportunity in 4 steps. I'm excited about today, and I'm ready to rock. So over the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you 4 specific strategies that you can implement into your game plan to turn adversity into opportunity. So let's just jump right into it and get started. So 4 key strategies we're going to talk about today are perspective, your story, the power of questions, and build momentum. So obviously, let's start out with perspective. So I'd like you to pause the training. I'd like you to write down what your story is. It could be anything, There are no good leads. No one's buying. I don't know what your story is. It could be personal or professional. But I want you to write down your story, but then I want you to write down what really happened. Because when you can get from the story to what happened, then you're in a place of power. Because you've taken away all that emotion, and that's the key. The emotion is what throws you for a loop because you start having that self-talk. And you tell yourself the big story. And every time you talk to someone, the story gets bigger. All right? So step 2 is get rid of your story and get to what happened. Pause the training and then come back and we'll move on. Great job. The questions that we ask ourselves control what we think about. And what we think about impacts what we do. So literally, the questions that we ask ourselves impact the action that we take. So why is negative-based question. How can I? What can I? Positive-based question. So remember, get rid of your whys. Whys are negative. Change your questions to a how. So when you're going through adversity and you're having some tough times, it's natural. Why is this going on? Why does this have to happen? Why can't I? Why is he doing this? But it gets you nowhere. It just causes your mind to go in a spin, in a negative type of spin, because you're asking bad questions and you're supporting it with bad answers, right? Okay, so what we're going to do right now, or maybe there's some adversity you're going through right now. Think about the question that comes to your mind. I want you to change that question to a how or a what. And then what you're going to do is write the answers down. So in this hypothetical one, I said, why can't I lose weight? And over here, I said, how can I lose weight and enjoy the process? And then I came out with 4 different answers. So what I'd like you to do is state your adversity, whatever you typically say to yourself about what's happening right now in your life, change it to a how or a what, and then write down 3 or 4 responses that can get you to get moving. And that's what we want to do. All right, we want to get moving. So we have to change the way we ask questions to get new answers that cause us to move forward. Great job. Pause. Your prospects are in uncertainty, and you want to get them to certainty. You want to take away their fears. Well, you, going through adversity, you want to go from uncertainty to certainty as well. All right, today we just talked about bulletproof strategies for overcoming adversity. Turn adversity into opportunity with the 4 steps. First of all, we talked about perspective. No matter how bad it is, remember somebody always has it a little bit worse. And then the story that I told you about the perspective is just imagine that you went through what I went through. That all of a sudden, boom, you got a deadly disease. You went through 2 years of chemotherapy. Now you're another 1.5 years out of it and you feel great. Imagine if you literally were on your deathbed and now you feel good. Think about the problem that you have right now. It's just not such a big problem, right? So it's all perspective. Number 2 is your story. What story are you telling yourself? And remember, the story gets a life on its own. We want to go away from our story over to what happened. That's the goal. Get rid of the story and get to what happened. Number 3, the power of questions. Most people are asking themselves why questions. Why can't I? Why can't I? Why is this happening? We want to get rid of the why questions because they're negative. We want to go to more empowering questions like a how or a what question. And lastly, we want to build momentum. And the language pattern that we used is if you knew. If you knew that things were going to be back, or I was going to be back on top in the next 2 weeks, the next week, how would I feel today? And if I knew I was going to be back on top in the next 2 weeks, what would I do today to get myself prepared to get back on top? So again, 4 keys to turn adversity into opportunity. Great job today. So in conclusion, I want to thank you for being here today. Thank you for participating. And I hope you got some tools you can actually use in your business and your life. And I want you to know that no matter what situation you're in, I have total respect for what you're doing. If you're in sales, I know you got a lot of stuff going, or you could be a leader or a manager. But the fact is we're dealing with a lot of things right now, and there's a lot of issues going on there. And now you have the tools to get through some of those challenges. Great job today. Thank you. Thank you.